Let's go.
And let me put on.
Where can I find the pairings?
Um, it's on.
Our site.
I'll put it in the Twitch chat.
Okay, cool.
The link, and then you'll see it from there. And I'll put the top board before we start. Okay. All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Abel Talamantes, chess director at the Mechanics Institute, and joining me now is FIDE master Paul Whitehead. And this is round 2 of the Mechanics Institute Summer Championship, part of Chess Fest 2020. Time control for this event is game in 60 plus 5. And what you're watching right now, round 2 has started, and top board, Mansour Mohammed won his first round game. He's playing Grandmaster Alexander Lenderman.
Yeah, so I'm just joining in here. Is Lenderman? It must be the top board, right?
He is definitely the top board, and then the second board is Elliot Winslow.
Elliot Winslow, okay.
And then after that, we have a couple of 2000s and 1800s, but we only had 20 players for this event. So I was sort of lamenting at the start of round 1 because we've gotten like great participation in our other events. So our TNM 64 players, and Blitz of the Americas we had 91, but we've been having great turnouts. But this one was kind of a surprise, and I figured it has to be one of two things. It's either the longer time control, or it's the fact that it was a 2-day event, or both.
Yeah, online things are like, let's go do this quickly and get it over with, kind of thing, maybe. Or also, there's the Olympiad going on right now.
I was actually
competition.
I was actually covering that. Did you? Because the last I saw is Russia and the U.S. tied.
No, I haven't been following. I mean, I was up by yesterday. I was up on it, but not.
Yeah, so Russia and the U.S. tied today, 3 games to 3. Mansour was in the chat saying that the Armageddon decider is by the top female board, which was
how about that?
Which is Carissa Yip. And Carissa Yip was playing a Grandmaster in her round, and she beat the Grandmaster. So I guess they were supposed to go to an Armageddon, but I don't know what happened after that. So
interesting.
I was kind of like looking.
Yeah, I mean, I can go take a quick look somewhere, maybe on Chess Bomb or something like that.
Yeah, someone.
But let's take a look at Mansour. He's playing. We have our own Grandmaster game here.
Yeah, that's right. And Mansour trying to pull the upset for the ages here.
Yeah, well, this is a Leningrad Dutch with White playing Knight H3. I don't know the theory too much about this, but you have to assume that White's booked up and knows what they're doing, because most of the lines are usually with Knight F3. But I don't know much about this opening. White tries to use the E6 square, maybe plays D5 here or something like that, and I am sure Lenderman knows this pretty well, but it's a game still, it's still in progress.
And going to board number 2, we have Stuart Katz, who's like an 1900 player playing International Master Elliot Winslow.
Okay, well, this is an opening I play for White all the time. Bishop B5 against the Sicilian with Silamo.
That's right.
So I'm a little biased against it, but I must admit that a lot of the times I don't really get that much out of the opening. It's more the structures and avoiding and taking the game into positional play rather than, how many moves of the Nahdorf do you know? Especially playing Elliot, who's so booked up. It's like, Bishop b5 is a good choice against Elliott.
So when we get to board 3 and 4, we start getting to where the games are pretty competitive, and our board 3 here is Alejandro Canales, who's about 1700, against Stratus Jr., who's Alan Finkelstein, and I think he's crossed 2000 already. But it's a battle of a couple of kids, both I think high school age.
Well, we have a structure, with, I guess on paper, black should be sort of okay here. There's an interesting possibility of taking on b5, bishop takes b5, and then queen takes b5.
Oh, yeah.
And giving up the queen for rook and bishop. If so, rook a8 check, bishop d8. Does white have some kind of shot there to, maybe the other rook comes over to a1, and if white is quick enough, may be able to pull something off with rook a7 coming up. That's actually quite tempting.
Interesting. And I wonder if he's thinking about it right here.
It's a new headset and a new haircut. Both.
How's it sound?
To me, it sounds fine, actually. It's a little better. It's very comfortable, this headset. I recommend it.
I'm asking Judith. She says it's good. So good. And I can tell you from my end, I'm not hearing like the background. I usually hear some background chaos.
And from my end, that's good too, because I'm hearing a lot of noise in the street a lot of times. So, so anyway, it's an interesting position. White has this little possibility here, and it's worth looking at.
It's gonna take some courage, though.
Yeah, and white probably has a little bit of an edge without needing to do that, if that didn't quite work. Space advantage, and so on and so forth.
Moving on to the next board is Felix German against Patrick Kut.
Okay, so this is a King's Indian where white's playing is kind of aggressive bishop g5 and h4 stuff. And I like this reaction for black. I often do this as well, is to play a Benko kind of response.
Very Benko-y, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good way of kind of like white's expecting to have it all his own way with a king side attack. And black says, well, white's also very prepared for black playing these pawn e6 and takes d5 kind of things. So when black plays b5 and plays it this way, it can be a shock to white. So I tend to like to steer the game into my own channels. So I approve of black's response here.
And in this game, we have James Lechensky, who played Adam Mercado in the first round and won, but it was the last game to finish. There was some heart-stopping moments in that game, but he got the job done, and now he's playing Ashik Uzman, and it seems like a lot of game has developed here already.
Yeah, well, it looks to me like white's in some trouble here, for sure. I mean, knight f3 check is coming, and the black has full development, and white, something has gone seriously wrong for white here.
Like the a2 bishop's trapped in there, the rook's still on h1.
Yeah, this is coming up as knight f3 check or bishop b7, and this is just, it's a disaster. Yikes. Well, I mean, the players have played very quickly, and Ashik will do that to you. I mean, if you.
But he plays well quickly.
Yeah, he does. But nobody plays that well quickly.
To justify it. And here we have
off the first 30 moves when you don't.
Here we have Rachel Tiong against Adam Mercado. Rachel took a bye in the first round, so this is her first game of the tournament.
Well, this is fairly kind of standard stuff. Sveshnikov, Sicilian. I don't know if this is book, but it's certainly looking like a book position. I mean, white could have played c3 there too. I think this is probably theory. c4 allows black the possibility of thinking about blocking it off with b4, although that doesn't seem to work right now because of knight takes b4, and queen check. Maybe. I'm working out these tactics when it's probably completely theory. I know it is completely theory. So, anyway, fairly standard stuff going on here.
And here we have Ayan Zaman, who had the fortune or misfortune of playing Alexander Lenderman in the first round.
Wow, what great experience.
Yeah.
What is this move, knight b4? Yikes. Oh, that can't be good. That is just off the charts.
What's the intent of that?
I mean, to play queen a4, but there's just not enough fuel over there. This is looking like a bad mistake. And black had such a nice looking position too. I failed to see it. Pawn takes knight, queen a4. I mean, then you could probably even take on c5. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, black plays queen a2, but it's not mate, and I'll play. I'm up 2 pieces.
Unless he's no, that can't be either.
This is just a misguided move, and I expect white will be quite happy to just take that knight. Well, Ayan is the son of Ashik, and they're both quite good players.
Yeah, they are. All right. And here, moving on in this game, we have, let's see, this player I'll have to look up. Oh, this is Nursultan Uzakbayev, Rimas 11. He's played at the Mechanics Institute. He is taken on... Who's he taking on? Actually don't have his user ID here, so I'll have to look that up. He's taking on someone.
Sharp position. I mean, I guess black does not want to take on c4, so this moves like f6 here to be considered. F6 looks like a challenging move for white.
He is taking on Daniel Cow. Daniel Cow.
Yikes. That just really ruins black's structure. I cannot understand that move. I mean, it's the most anti-positional move I've seen in quite a long time. I mean, black can't play f6 here because of queen g6 check, so it's just horrendous.
Yeah. You know what, Paul? Just don't sugarcoat anything. Just
no. But I mean,
just
black,
say it how you feel.
Yeah, and f5. I mean, that's just.
Doesn't that just solidify that bishop there?
Yeah, and well, queen e2 now, and then just simple moves. White is just completely in control here, and black had no reason to go into this.
This one will be ending.
This is not looking good for black.
not at all. Not at
for
all.
Mr. Eric Black.
And Ashik Uzman closes the show here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with mate. Ooh.
Nice win.
Yikes. Yeah. Looks like Mr. Lesensky maybe played a little too fast.
It's funny he played too fast because he was the last game out in the first round.
Right, yeah. Yeah. So, only 11 minutes were spent on the game in its entirely, or something like that. So
let's go back to the top board, and then Lenderman has played 94 here.
Yeah, and the knight at h3 has been nullified. So with and White's played this slow pawn to a3 move. So Black is taking some action here, and I already would assume that Black is not only fighting for the initiative but probably better here. And White's moves kind of lack cohesion. E3 and A3, both of those moves, combined with rook E1, I think we're seeing 3 poorly thought out moves here. And so White can't take twice on E4 because of the knight on H3, and Black is doing well here. There's a threat on d4. If White plays pawn to d5, positionally, it's not going to be so good after knight takes c3. And then knight e7, knight a5, or knight b8 would all be possible moves for Black there.
And for anyone watching and joining us, we do have a standalone Blitz Championships tonight, starting at 7 o'clock. It's 9-round game in 3+2. So if
Chess Festival,
the Chess Fest 2020. So if you want to get in some Blitz action, about 2 hours of your time to get in the 9 rounds, join us, and I'll put the
any big names signed up yet?
So FPON is playing.
Oh wow!
Pranav Sairam, who just finished third in the TNM, he joined. And we have a few other players, but I think there's going to be some strong players, and there's going to be quite a few players I think that didn't play the 2-day event that are just going to play the Blitz.
Right.
So
carrying that thought over that somehow chess and short attention span things are kind of going hand in hand right now.
I mean, I think we've conditioned the players to blitz and rapid, and then when they saw there was a long time control, there was some physical aversion to signing up or something.
Well, I'm not quite sure, but I will say this, that players like Carlsen and Firouzja and everybody who are playing 30-second bullet chess are not setting the great example either.
Well,
I mean, all that stuff is fun, but it's it's kind of, you want to see more serious chess, and I think at some level we all do. And
I think we do, but I think it's kind of worth discussing whether playing serious chess online gives the same effect, right? The same high as
it's just not,
and maybe not.
It'll almost never be right.
I mean, because I can imagine, I don't even have to imagine. I know that I've done it several times where I've played 5-hour games, and as draining as that is when it's all over, it feels like a good experience, win or lose, right?
And chess is a sport, we really, I mean, kind of, you take away that face-to-face thing with the internet.
Right. And and maybe it's just different. I mean, maybe it's just a lot harder and just feels like something's lost when you're trying to do that on a computer, right? Michael Walder's in the chat. So I kind of made a mistake and actually put in 2 Friday Blitz links, and one was I guess 3-2, another one was 5-2. It ended up being a mess, so we didn't have either event, but I'm glad to know that you have a preference for the 5-2. So there's just so much to do, Paul. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of it all.
I like the way Lenderman's playing here, just playing, grabbing space, and Mansour is taking the kind of rope-a-dope approach here.
Just kind of
sort
waiting.
of like waiting around. But that's
He's trying to give him a false sense of security.
Yeah, White has played a succession of standard moves here, and Black is quite comfortable. Not winning, but quite comfortable. So
going to board 2, let's take a look at Stuart Katz and Elliot Winslow.
Okay, so we have a closed positional struggle. White retreated the bishop back to f1. I was having a discussion with my students in my last class about they move the bishop out to g5 or b5, and then it gets hit by a pawn at h6 or a6, right? And I was telling them, if you ever retreat that bishop back along the diagonal, stop doing that. You're supposed to either take the piece up c6 or f6, or go back to a4. And if you go back to c4, e2, or whatever, you're just saying, I should have gone there in the first place. So it's such an amateurish kind of thing. The exception are these positions where you go rook to e1, and then the bishop can go all the way back to f1, and you sort of keep your bishop that way. So it's an interesting game. It's a maneuvering game here. Black seems to be doing okay, fine, maybe even better, being able to play pawn f5.
So in the chat, I just posted a link because you have a brand new class that's starting this Thursday. And why don't you tell us a little bit about it? Because you have your Endgame Lab on Mondays, you have your regular class Wednesday nights, but now you got this new class that's pretty unique and pretty cool, I think.
Well, as I've been teaching a lot, and I keep saying, look at the great chess games. Look at the games of the world champions. And so I've been teaching an endgame class, and all the great examples of endgames are all world champion chess. The best players are the world champions, and their examples are the finest examples of endgame play, of strategy, whatever. So I realized I knew something about world championship matches, but not that much, and thought maybe I could teach myself, and as I go along looking at these matches, I could talk about them with some students as well. And I think it's an interesting topic. We've got the old pre-world pre-official champions like Morphy and Zukertort played a match, but never became. But a lot of great players, a lot of great matches. Steinitz, of course. We'll look at everybody and all the great games and some of the stories behind those games.
Yeah, so this Thursday we'll start a class on the World Championship matches and go over some of the games from those matches, some of the stories. I think it'll be really cool, a lot of fun. Learn some chess through these matches and learn a little bit of history and pop culture of the time. A lot of fun. I can't wait.
All right, thanks, Abel.
We got Alejandro Canales and Alan Finkelstein here. And Alan Finkelstein, in the first round, he was in the chat. He was saying that he's got his tactics rating on chess.com to 3,000.
Wow.
Which sounds strong.
It does sound strong. I think Black's gotten what he wants here. The outside pass pawn is more dangerous than the c pawn. There's still the two bishops, and there's a weakened white king side that's gonna be difficult to deal with. Um, I think black should start out with playing a5 and a4 at the earliest possible time, and maybe even pawn to a3, and then try to develop some threats on the d file, maybe, and the bishop and the a8 h1 diagonal, queen and bishop. Some maneuvering is needed, but I like black here for sure.
And switching to the next board and taking a look at Felix. This is the Benko-ish type game of Patrick Kurt.
Yeah. Well, yeah, complicated. I guess black is just okay. So fairly typical type of position here. Black is going to have to take on b5 at some point, and now might be the right time to do it. Although white could maybe just take back with the pawn. There's some problems with developing the black pieces. It looks like this bishop d7 move might not have, whenever it was played, might not have been the right idea, because if black takes on b5, white can comfortably take back with the pawn, and then looks like white's better here. And there's also the idea of playing bishop d2, and it's not clear how black, so black moves the bishop. Okay, that was probably necessary. It looks like black has wasted some time here, and so
taking a look back at this game, because we thought that
actually a5 and rook a4. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying.
Oh wow.
This was the game that Luke with Jaja, we felt something went wrong.
Well, I'm not sure. It looks like white took the piece on b4, but I'm not sure how black won it back. But so, I mean, white's 2 pawns up here. That might count in the long run. But the position's open, and black's there's a pawn at d3. I mean, white should be better here, but there's some dynamic possibilities.
Back to Rachel Tiong and Adam Mercado.
Too close to call. I mean, bishops of opposite colors, maybe, but white's got something going here on the queen side. I mean, what happens after pawn takes a6? I mean, that's, I guess, the move that sort of...
I wonder if he recaptured. Yeah, he captured a pawn.
I guess black can play knight b4 or knight c7. Black can play knight c7. But then maybe knight b5. There might be a way for white to keep that pawn at a6. If white can take on a6 and then find a way to keep that pawn, black is going to regret that this ever happened. Knight c7, knight b5. And then if knight a6, knight d6 check. That's not clear. Actually, that's good for white, probably.
Michael Walder just wants to ram that pawn all the way down to e1 in the chat. Let's go back to top board.
Yeah.
Lenderman and Mansour.
Now this is getting worse, I would say. Black has been allowed to lock the queen side up with e4. White's played f4 as a way to just do something, and now black is much better here now. White's pieces are all behind the lines, and f4 just took away potential. Yikes. Yeah, this is just really going south here.
And Paul, I'll be right back. Here we have
Sure.
Stuart Katz and Elliot Winslow.
Okay. Yeah. Still playing a maneuvering game here, folks. If White can't play G, yeah, it's just not clear. Maybe White should play pawn A4 or something. White needs to maybe try to play pawn to D4. Black's got moves like F5, Bishop B7. Looks like a good game for Black. White's a little gummed up here with his pieces. They have to make sense. Play pawn to D4 maybe. You get the sense that the initiative is starting to tip over into Black's favor. Here.
Okay. Let's go back to the Canales Finkelstein game here.
Nothing has happened.
Yeah, it's kind of locked up.
Well, black is very good here. I mean, it's just a matter of finding the right, this weakened White kingside. Maybe rook to B8, rook G to B8, and then slowly do something, or pawn to A5 here should be possible.
Let me move to
Set
this.
that pawn going.
Felix's game got a little interesting here. He just played E5.
Yeah, that makes sense too. I mean, I was looking at that move as well as A5, but Black has wasted some serious time here by playing. And this Bishop F3, is that any good? I guess it works. If E takes F6, then Black can play E takes F6, hitting the bishop on G5.
Interesting game.
Well, let's see. So White can take back with the pawn, with the bishop, and then if pawn takes E5, pawn to G6.
Right.
And complications that should be favoring White, I strongly suspect. But if White plays E takes F6, Black can play E takes F6. Might be forced. And then maybe White can go back Bishop D. No, not Bishop D2. Complicated game.
Let's see how they work it
very
out.
Very complicated.
Let's go back to this game here. Rachel Tiang and Adam Mercado.
Yeah, this is White's problem. I mean, White is badly coordinated here, and it has this lovely pawn at A6, but and two passed pawns. I mean, three passed pawns. White has three passed pawns here, but has to. There's a lack of coordination here on the White side, and lack of development. So Black looks like he might be able to hold the balance with that. Here, I think maybe he should be able to hold the balance, but I'm not sure exactly what's going on. E3 can be met by knight C3 check. It's almost mate. White has to play king to E1. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da.
That's the official analysis.
Yeah, that's the analysis.
Let's check on Mansour if he's able to alleviate any of the pressure he was feeling. And is he up in the middle of the night in India right now?
I think he's done as well as he can here, actually. And I expect, yeah, this is what actually kind of well done on Monso's part. He's starting to try to fight back.
Will
and
D5 be the move here?
maybe, but then, yeah, D5 looks good. And if White takes on E4, F takes E4. And still has Black still has quite a bind on the position, and I think that's what's going on here too.
Judith's in the chat. So when I said if Monsor is late night, because he's in India, I think it's late night. Judith says 4 p.m. round will be the cruel round for him.
Yeah.
It'll be the cruel round for us. I mean, I have a newfound respect for you, Paul, because I started at about 10-20, and it takes a lot out, and I don't even know what I'm talking about when it comes to chess. So, it takes a.
But neither do I. I find getting up before 10 can be difficult for me.
And I might even be better off because I'm unaware of how unknowledgeable I am about chess. You at least have somewhat awareness of what you don't know.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but so Black's looking for a great move here. And I'm not sure what it is. D5 is. Yeah, definitely possible. There's other moves, maybe like Rook A5 or Bishop E6, or I'm not sure.
So let's go back to Patrick Cutt's game here. So he took with the pawn. So I guess for consideration, it was played what we talked about, D6.
White took back on F3 and D6. So Black is. I was thinking that Black is in some serious trouble here because.
And
if Rook A7, D takes E7.
Chess Dojo Live is rating us a party of 24. So thanks to Kostya. The guys over there at Chess Dojo Live, David Pruis and Kostya, saying us their viewers. For those of you just tuning in, this is round 2 of the Mechanics Institute Chess Festival. And this is the main event. 3 rounds today, 3 rounds tomorrow. And we are in the middle of round 2, and that is what you're watching.
Yeah, and taking a look at this game, this is if Rook A7 here, D takes E7, Rook E7, Bishop F6, and then Knight D5, and Black is lost, losing a Rook to the Knight 4. Black can play Queen takes H4, but Knight E7 check is a whole rook down. I don't know. Black is in trouble. Felix has played a nice game. Maybe has to play Knight D7 here. We have Alexander Lenderman.
And he did play D5.
You called it, boss. I'm going home.
I called it. I called it. It's like the one time I will call a GM move accurate.
No, that's not true. I think the Grandmaster moves are actually, if you start to think about them, are actually kind of understandable. They're a lot more understandable than our moves, which are seem random and so they have a logic to them most of the time, and it's discovering that logic and sort of making it our own that'll make us better chess players.
I mean, this just solidifies that knight on E4 to just kind of stay there, or if you trade it, I mean, it's going to be a pretty powerful pawn there on D4.
Well, if knight takes E4, F takes E4, and then Black still retains this dynamic D pawn to D4 possibility. So White is unable to lock the position up, which is what he's been trying to do ever since he opened the game, practically.
And as part of this chess festival going on tonight at 7 p.m., we have our Blitz Championship, 9 rounds of game in 3+2. So anyone interested in joining that, you can still sign up, and I think Judith put the link in the chat. So Big event tonight, 7 p.m. Join the action. It is not too late.
Yeah, that'll be a fun. And there's a lot of honor involved in that tournament.
In the Blitz, yeah.
Yeah. So Black is great here. Linderman is showing his class here, and is the board one. How's the board two game going?
And here we go. Stuart Katz and Elliot Winslow.
International Master Elliot Winslow. Well, yeah, it's a complicated game, folks. Black wants to play f5, and it was his move, and he jumps into the weak point at f4. So I guess we have to say this is looking, nominally better for Black here, for sure. And it's funny that white queen at h5 could even get into trouble at some point. However, white takes on e5, I don't think is going to be, rather on f4, is going to be any good.
For white.
Yeah.
Let's do a check on this position. I've been looking at Alejandro Canales and Alan Finkelstein.
And Black is still thinking after, this has been like a 20-minute thought.
Yeah.
So, trying to work out the kinks, or else something's wrong with his clock. I hate to say it.
Alan does put in the time when the position calls for it, so
that's a sign of a good player.
Yeah, he's working it out.
Yeah, you see far too often. Well, Rook D8, Bishop B6, Gulko fan. That's the problem right now, maybe. I mean, I don't mind giving up the exchange with these bishops, and however, whatever way you want to do it. So maybe that's even possible. Rook D8, Bishop B6, Queen B7, Bishop D8, and then just retaking on D8. And Black has tremendous pressure.
And Michael Walder saying Queen B7.
Yeah.
And let me take the opportunity real quick to give big props to the Chief TD, the Mechanics' very own Judith Stare, who's doing all these pairings manually on chess.com, so that we can have round times that start at prescribed round times, and people can request buys. And she's managing a help desk for anyone that's having any technical issues. So she's working really hard behind the scenes, and she's in the chat and all of that. So thank you, Judith, for all that she does.
Let's just stay here for a second. I think Black has played this in another way that leaves him still also a slight advantage, but it wasn't my instinct to do this. But Black is still going to be better here because of the weak white king, exposed white king. Also, there's the outside pass pawn, so this is still better for Black for sure, and was an interesting way to play it. Yeah,
definitely a long-term strategy here. Check this game out. So check out the development in the Felix German Patrick cut.
Yes. So I'm not sure. Some variation of what I pointed out happened, but this is.
So let's go back a little bit here.
Yeah, just a few moves. Yeah, here we go. Right here. Yeah.
So did that. We saw that.
Right.
So it was Rook A7 captured there.
Right.
There we go.
Oh, Black played Rook E8. Yeah. Okay.
And this is where we're at.
Right. So Black has to play Rook takes E7. He doesn't have enough here, and Black is getting. Black is losing here. Rook D7. Maybe pawn to B6. If I'm Black, I'm feeling pretty uncomfortable here.
You're gonna feel the squeeze, huh?
Yeah, I think this is lost. Nice game by Felix. Very thematic. Very thematic.
Yeah, when he's in the zone. Distracted. Yeah, when he's in the zone, he really delivers a good game. Let's check this one out. We were checking this game earlier. Rachel Tiong and Adam Mercado.
Well, I mean, white still has that pawn at a6. There's the black has taken white knight at e3, and that I'm not sure how that's worked out for black. Black has all this active play, but the problem is that pawn at a6 is still there, and as part of 3 connected passed pawns on the queen side. So what has black achieved? And I would say not a lot.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Sure. Yeah, bad white bishop. Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, white still has to get his pieces out of the box here, and that's definitely true. Yeah. What does your T-shirt say, Abel?
It says, "Be yourself. Normal is overrated. Be yourself."
Okay.
Normal is overrated.
Shall we go back to the Lenderman game?
Let's go to Lenderman. There we are. Look at that E4 square.
Well, no, nothing can get on that square. I mean, black. Okay, so black has saddled white with a weakness at a3, and white is down the exchange.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Okay, this is, and his pieces still lack coordination and
everything else.
Yeah. Okay. This is going quite well for black.
Onward.
Yeah.
Stuart Katz.
Board 1.
Winslow.
And so Elliot's got a slight advantage here and just needs to find some ways of winning something. There's vulnerable pawns on the queen side, and black might get tempted to go pawn hunting by taking on e3 and queen a5 or something like that, but it's dangerous. Might be the thing to do, though, in this position.
Let's check in on this game, Alejandro and Alan.
So, yeah, this was an interesting way to play this, and very kind of feet on the ground way of playing. I like it. I mean, I think black is definitely better here. There's the there's the weakened king side, the and the outside pass pawn. This has been well played. It's been well played, and centralized forces for black. This was a simpler and maybe better way to play it than the way that we were looking at. Goko fan and I were looking at earlier.
All right. Checking on Felix again here.
Yeah, this is black is just trying to find a way. He's probably use all the rest of his time trying to find a way out of this.
Like, is he gonna have to just capture that pawn, or?
Well, yeah, but the problem is that white has this pass pawn.
Yeah. That's
so
right.
Rook A takes E7, say. If I'm white, I'll just go ahead and take it. Knight takes. Got to take with the bishop, I guess, and that attacks the queen. The queen has to move. It moves to C6. No, it can't move to C6. I mean, black is, holding on by a thread, but there's still that the pass pawn on the queen side, so.
And
yeah, that's right. Queen takes E5. And if knight d7, then just queen g3 or something, some queen trade off or whatever.
So
Glad.
Ayan won his game. So
nice.
Father and son get it done in round 2.
Yeah.
But
very good.
But Ashik's at 2 out of 2, and Ayan's at 1 out of 2.
Okay.
Let's check in on Adam and Rachel.
Yeah, this is a funny game here. Again, with black exerting all this positional pressure, and yet white has 3 passed pawns on the queen side, and is even a pawn up. So it's just a curious game. And maybe d5 was the right move there than f5. Because white can play bishop c4 now.
I mean, with that king in the middle of the board,
and then
throwing
pawn
those
a3.
center pawns.
No, but d5 looked a little better there. Yeah. All right.
So
yeah. Now white can play bishop c4 and a3. So I'm not sure. Yeah.
So back to 1.
Well, one thing that grandmasters know how to do is be patient and win 1 position. So I have no doubt that Mr. Lenderman will be able to convert this. It might take some time depending on how stout the resistance is, but
it'll get done.
I think it should get done. Yeah.
All right, moving on to international master Elliot Winslow, who's black.
That guy again. Yeah, the white queen could get trapped here. It's true. And so maybe that's why Elliot's burning some time here, trying to figure out a way to trap the queen.
Set up that net.
It's a funny position because white has as yet no weaknesses. So I want to play bishop takes e3 and then play queen a5 and go pawn hunting on the queen side and say to white, what do you got? If a3, then queen d2 or something like that. That's my thought here.
So let's take a quick peek here as bishops are coming off the board. So you still liking black?
Yeah. In fact, now it looks like black is winning that pawn at c4 maybe. I mean, definitely black if black can win the pawn at c4, then it's going to be. Well, there's always the 2 rooks thing.
But they're trading, right? So if he takes the pawn at c4, white will take the one at a5?
It depends on how white captures back here. Queen f2, I guess. Queen c4, rook a5. And then there's always, rook a5 and then rook d1 check. No, white can't do that, I don't think. Okay, queen c4, rook a5, rook trades on a5, then rook d1 check, king g2, queen e4 check. White's lost. If queen f3, rook d2 check, and if king up on the 3rd rank, then rook d3 check. That's got to be the end of white there.
Unless he goes rook a4. What if rook a4?
Right here?
Yeah.
Well, then black could just play queen b5, or maybe rook d1 check and try to get off a pair of rooks. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Rook a4, rook d1, rook takes d1, queen takes a4.
Yeah, and rook a4 is played.
Okay, so now rook d1 check. Yeah, but that doesn't seem to help white much. I mean, what black has got, it helps for one move, but black's now won a pawn. And I like rook d1 check here, maybe. You want to trade a pair of rooks here. It's got to be the right idea. An inch towards your goal, right?
Yeah.
You've got to. There may not be another way unless there's a direct mating attack. Black can do some kind of direct mating attack.
Yeah, and it was played rook d1.
It's good technique. It should be. White's going to have to hope for a miracle here, I think. It's starting to look grim.
So is the best move king g2 here?
Well, that can be dangerous, right? Because of queen d5 check. Very dangerous, actually. And if then queen f3, rook d2 check, I'm going to win your queen eventually. Right. So you're going to have to come up, and then rook d3 check anyway, and you're walking into the den, you're walking up onto the fourth rank, king h4. Can you survive that? No.
All right. Well, he's trying to work that out. Let's take a look at this here.
Okay, Elliot's trying to trap the queen, I guess. Or
keep it out of the game.
Or keep it out of the game. So queen h4, though, has that done anything for black? Maybe g5, queen h5, and then pawn f6, and really trying to keep that queen completely out of the game.
Yeah, there was another game. Actually, Judith and I were following it. I believe it was on Sunday. It was during the Sunday Rapid, where one player had their queen completely trapped in a corner by a knight and a pawn. And the queen was essentially just out of the game, and led to a resignation. And the queen was at h8, and then there was a pawn on h7, and then a knight on f8, and the queen couldn't get out. It was just blocked in, and it was just interesting to see. It was just helpless. It was like a knight and a pawn and a king were completely shutting out the queen.
It can happen. So I guess Elliot's going to play g5 here, and if queen h6, pawn to f6, and then keep a bind and try to prevent it's an interesting way to play, I suppose. I think my idea now of taking on e3 and playing queen a5 and going pawn hunting is a little more dangerous with the inclusion of pawn to g6. So what's your idea, Elliot? f6. Oh, nice move. Sure. That's a pretty move.
Same idea, right?
Yeah, a much well thought out. That's nice. I like it. Yeah, this is a splendid move. That white queen is really something else. It's amazing. So bishop f4, queen g3, and now queen d2. And then if queen d6, queen c2, queen d... No, that's no good. Bishop c6. Queen c5. Yikes. So bishop takes f4, queen takes f4, queen g3, and if queen d2, queen d6. I guess rook f7 just defends everything. I don't know. This is a little bit Yeah, and on queen d2, queen d6 is interesting too, because if black plays queen takes c2, white plays queen d7, and then suddenly white's on the pawn at e6 and the bishop at b7 as well. That's not good. That doesn't seem like it's good.
So check this position out. This is the Lenderman Monsor.
Wow. Okay. I think Lenderman's probably just trying to figure out the right way in here. I mean, this pawn at a3 is black's only concern, and it could cost black a piece, but it could cost black a piece. I doubt if it will, but it might. And in which case, there's the rest of these pawns coming in. And then, of course, there's the thing, will that matter at all? Because here come the black pawns, c3 and c2, and that's it. Just resign. Almost. The rook b8 check. So black has to play bishop e4 first here, I think. Bishop e4. Is there any... There's also bishop f3 check. Yeah, there's bishop f3 check.
Yeah,
and
right.
And if king f3,
c2,
that's what Lenderman's looking at. And if rook b8 check, king up, that's it. I mean, there's a bishop f3 check. I think is just
I remember a similar type of move played by Josiah Stearman in a TNM.
Yeah. I think Lenderman's just working it out to make triple, quadruple sure here. But bishop f3,
like his pawns.
Bishop f3, king f3. So, and then c2, rook a1, c1, queen, rook takes, bishop takes on the pawn, a5. Always plays king there. Huh. Okay. What did I overlook? What did we overlook? I wonder. That's interesting.
Unless he's thinking king d3.
Well, then there would have been bishop e4. Here again, bishop f3, check, and then c2. Again, it's the same issue. Now black's king is even one step closer. So, what about bishop f3 check? Yeah, he's just playing. He doesn't want to win in that way. Okay, this is another way. Now c2. Maybe this was even better. Okay, spite check. That's a spite check if ever I saw one.
And that is it. Alexander Lenderman coming out on top on board one. So let's do a live peek at this game with Felix German. Almost seemed like some of his advantage is not quite what it...
Well, black did very well. I mean, black got look. I'm not sure exactly how it happened, but black got, what he wanted here. There's still the dangerous pawn, passed pawn on the queen side, but black has possibilities like knight g4. If knight g4, queen takes g6 check, and then king moves. That should be fine for black, even that.
So look at this game here.
This has gotten a little bit crazy, for sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, this was another sort of inevitable thing.
Yeah, that pawn just came down and it got to this position. And this is kind of a nice, pretty move. I'll wait till...
yeah, I see it. Queen takes c2.
Yeah.
Well, white could have tried to keep the blockade, but he was in serious trouble anyway.
Yeah.
Well done. Nice technique by black. I'm quite impressed, and particularly with the whole thematic plan with the exchange on bishop takes f3. That showed some very good judgment.
So back to Stuart Katz and Elliot Winslow.
So Elliot decides not to go in with queen d2 and plays g5 instead, sort of saying, I've got a big positional advantage, and he does after queen f4, g takes f4, and white would like to play e5, but that's probably met by pawn f3, and the bishop at g2 will be imprisoned forever. So trouble for white here. He's getting sort of ground down.
All right.
He was unable to achieve the f4 move, and that's been black is sort of sitting. Black has all kinds of counterplay here. Yikes.
Now, why didn't...
I missed the earlier part of the game. I mean, black has done well here.
But why didn't black go knight g4?
I think he was afraid of queen takes g6 check.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? That doesn't matter. I mean, after king f8, the queen is hanging, right? And
right.
I'm threatening queen takes f2 check and queen h2 check.
Because knight g4 covers h6.
Yeah, it covers all this, and you're threatening queen f2 check and queen h2 check. So that actually might have been good for black. This is I'm not sure how this happened, but black has definitely gotten some play here.
Yeah.
But he might be going about it in the wrong way with pawn e4. We're just going to have to see what happens in the next move or two.
So we'll
dangerous.
Keep an eye on that one. I think Alejandro's a little caught by surprise with that move. So let's go back to this game.
Well, it's a common liquidating, idea. So white wants. This game has a comical quality to it. I think white's trying to play pawn e5. Yeah. I mean, black is just better in all kinds of scenarios here, with a grip on the dark squares and the better bishop, and more space now as well, more room for expansion on the queen side and in the center. So it's black for choice. It's going to be, it's still a fight, but.
Hey, here are Rachel Tiong and Adam Mercado.
Wow, I mean, white's fought back, is up the exchange and has two outside house pawns.
Yeah.
So you would think that this would be, a routine win. But on the other hand, black has such a positional advantage. I'm scared for white as well. It's
black's just gonna be pushing those pawns down the middle.
Right, and the rook and knight combination, but two outside pass pawns. Wow. You'd think white should be winning this somehow. But it's not going to be easy. It's definitely not going to be easy. If I'm black, I'm going to start off with rook c2 check, and so nothing much is developed here. I think black might have missed a chance with knight g4 on the last move, but even though it allows queen takes g6 check.
And Patrick has invested a lot of time in this game. He's down to 14 minutes.
That's time well spent.
Yeah,
I mean,
he looked in trouble.
the the players that are going to be successful are the ones that are putting in the time in the critical situations. And yeah, Gulko fan is saying black is good and Felix messed it up, and I think I'm tending to agree with that. But black has to be able to see knight to g4 at some point, even though it allows queen g6 check. Maybe he'll stumble into it. Pawn e3 is coming up too. If I'm white, I just want to take on a6 and, show me or whatever, but knight g4, queen g6, king f8, and there's some threats. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in 1 minute.
You do that.
Okay?
You do that.
I guess it's okay if I mute my my video, right?
Sure. Yeah, that'll work. And Alan Finkelstein got it done against Alejandro Canales with a nice little tactic in his game. So he goes to 2 out of 2. Let's go back to the Felix German Patrick Kutt game. He does play e4. And knight g4 is such a nice move, but it does feel wrong to allow queen g6 check. But after king h8, there's actually no more checks, and you're threatening mate. So let's check in on Rachel Tiang and Adam Mercado. And we know Adam's got no quit in him, so he's going to try to find a way here with his rook and knight. Whoa. Rook d2. All right. Rook d2, king c4, d5. Should be interesting. Rook d2, king c4, d5 check. King b4. You gotta admire Adam's patience here. Yes, we did see that game, and nice tactic at the end, Alan. We did see it. He just stepped out right now. He'll be back in a minute, but we did catch the last part of your game, and you sacking the queen and then pushing the pawn to the 7th rank, and it could not be stopped. So good game, good game. Oh yeah, for sure. Actually, if Judith's listening, maybe she can send you the link. If you want to come on the show and talk about it for a few minutes, we could do that. Let me see if I got it here. And then send you an email.
The broadcast.
Yeah, we are here. Alan Finkelstein was in the chat, and he wanted to ask you something about the middle game. So I'm trying to see if I can get him the link. So you can come on for a few minutes and ask away.
Yeah, which game was that?
That was
again
Alejandro Canales and Alan Finkelstein. The Queen sack, blah blah blah.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Perfect. Hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. So let's just pull when you pull up the game. But
So Alan, I emailed you the link. So if you get it, just pop in.
And then we pull up the link, right?
There we go. Yeah.
I mean, pull up the game.
Yeah, because I have it up. It'll come back. Port will come back. Yep. So yeah, we're looking at this game here. And
I think that I mean,
can he just do Rook D2, King C4, D5?
Well, then the king keeps running out to B5, right? I mean, I'm not sure that you want to chase the king out into the open and get back behind your lines like that.
Because I was figuring, can't you? You're pushing your pawns, right? So you're
right. But the part of the strategy here, is keeping white contained, and I think this is probably better to keep him on the second,
keep him and
first rank.
Keep him at
bay. If you chase him out to C6 and B7 and C8 and D8 or something like that, you could be opening up a can of worms for yourself as well. But I mean, yeah. Now maybe D5. I mean, if black wants to play to win, it's risky. Yeah, this is a tough game, I think, and it was possible to do that too. It was definitely possible to do that as well. It's just that can be a new expression that would have sunned the pawn rather than it won the pawn. So, Michael Walzer there.
Oops.
This is a nice coordination between the black pieces. I mean, but I'm not sure that white can win this after Rook C2 check again. Let's see, King D3, Rook D2, King C4, B5 check, King B5. Yikes. And let's look at Elliott's game here for a second.
Yeah, let's flip over.
4-2.
Mr. Winslow. Wow. I've had a trade-off.
Yikes, white is definitely in trouble here. Serious trouble. I mean...
Definitely in trouble. How's that?
Pressure down the C-file, threatening to take on D3 and then play Rook C2. That's the threat right away. Right there, yeah. And then there's also the miserable white bishop. And if white takes on C4, Rook C4, C3, the pawn hangs on E4. That's got to be a winning rook and pawn ending for black. Who will have go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Dimple pitches in the chat that each side has all their pawns still.
Yeah. Maybe Rook D1, and if takes on D3, Rook takes D3. So that if Rook takes C2, Rook takes D7. And that's not good. So black plays up to King E7. Now white plays C3. And if Rook C4, white can play pawn F3. So even though that's really miserable, it might be you're not losing anything right away. And So
let me check in on this game here with Felix and Patrick.
what a turnaround that game was. White's gotten his rook up to the 3rd rank, to drive the queen away, and now has been able to take on b6 or push on b6.
Kind of got himself back in a little bit.
Still, black has a lot of strong counterplay with pawn to e3
Right.
here, and needs to do something like right away because. And it's interesting that black didn't play knight g4, worried about queen g6 check, when actually that could have been met by king f8, and black has decided to play a defensive move and play king g7 to free the knight when maybe it didn't need to be freed.
Right.
Strangely enough, and white's been able to play this defensive idea on the thing. Black still has strong counterplay, but it's coming down to the wire here. E3 is crushing, and that might be true. Actually, it is a strong-looking move. Okay. Lowercase man wants to join in.
Yeah, join in right now.
All right, let's pull up his game.
Let me pull it up here. The lowercase man.
And his lowercase man, Alejandro?
It's Alan. Alejandro? It's Alan.
Oh, so you're up the top.
And Alan, you gotta mute your Twitch. Thank you, because you'll hear us from in the Zoom. How's it going? Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to add a few questions about the middle game because I made a few decisions I was very unsure about.
No problem. Let me just get your name in here, and then we'll get it all set up.
I was complimenting you on your decision to one of your decisions. I thought you played a really nice game at the end there, just very smooth. But it was that long think that you did before taking on f3. That was not the way I thought you should have gone, but it turns out it was the right way to go. I think
that was my question. That was my question.
So what move do we go to? We get past all of this.
Yeah. Was there the possibility of taking on b5? Yeah, white's made a mistake here with this pawn advance on the king side.
Yeah, allowing me to close. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because from the beginning, Paul he liked your position way better.
Well, I'm not sure, but white kept having this idea of taking on b5 twice, and then sacrificing the queen, right? What about that? And then playing the other rook over to a1. Did you look at that?
Oh, I saw that. But there was bishop d8, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, but then the other rook coming over to a7, it was not good.
Slow. I think it was too slow.
Okay, something to look at because that's like the only other thing I was looking at really. So yeah, keep going.
So I knew my bishops were good, so I thought I might have made the wrong decision, but I really didn't know what else to play.
So bishop c6. So we thought you were much better here, okay. Stop right there before bishop takes f3.
Okay.
And
I put it back.
Yeah. So here we were thinking you had maybe just pawn a5 or something like that. But your decision to take on f3, I think, looked better and better and better as the game went along. It was a nice thematic way to play, and it simplified the game to where sort of any dynamic possibility that he had was just completely gone, and you were sort of in control. I think it might have just been a good winning plan. And
Yeah, that
his
was my
king
plan.
side was just so badly weakened that your pressure was just, too much.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I knew I'd be slightly better, but I wasn't sure if it was enough to win.
I
But
think it's more than slightly better. I think it's, you know, but if in some positions like this, you're going to have to play a move like Queen B7, right? And so,
Queen B7 actually didn't work due to Rook B1, I thought.
right, well, that's right. So Rook D8 first, maybe. We had the idea of even giving up the exchange by
Oh
playing
yeah,
Rook
I saw that. I
D8,
saw that. I saw
Bishop
that.
B6, and then Queen B7.
That's right. That's
you know.
right. But I wasn't
That
sure
probably.
if my play would be enough.
I think, but your decision was much better. I think it wasn't speculative, and it was just based on, a sound, long-term appraisal of the position. It's just black is so much better here, and he can't regain the pawn, right, because of Rook D1 check and Queen E4 check, right?
And we're following the game at this position like more intently.
The weakened white king side. It's just.
And Paul called that move the Rook D8 or Rook D1, and then you played it, traded, yeah.
So
yeah, you played a good game.
Yeah,
I mean, this was very thematic, and Rook C2. Yeah, there's no way that he's going to be able to maintain the blockade. I think for too long there.
Yeah,
you're going to be pressuring him anyway. So
the one other move I was considering was Rook G B8 in that position. Like, can we check that really quick?
We looked at that. Yeah, well, it was a move that was mentioned in the commentary too. I mentioned it, Rook G B8.
Yeah. Was it any good, do you think?
I think you were better, but that's like, that's a sort of like I like your decision. I think it was practical and it was a good decision to make. Whether one move sometimes is better or not is up in the air. You're not sure, and it's based on. But your decision looked better and better as time went on along, and I think it might have been just winning, and so.
Hey, Alan, you gotta
take a look at the other move too as well, and work out some of the things at home. But I admire your play, especially the decision to play Bishop F3 just looked really good. Yeah.
So you might have to prep up for Lenderman next round.
Oh yeah.
Well, just play your best game and take it right to him, because that's the only way to beat these strong players.
And Lenderman actually played a game. He was playing Tejas Mahesh in a tournament where he blundered a piece, and he fought back to win the game. It was pretty close. So you
can't hope that they're going to blunder a piece. You just have to try to.
You just got to beat
their
them
pieces
straight.
You got to take their pieces from them. But you can do it. I mean, with decisions like Bishop takes F3 in that game, and just solid, and understand yourself too. Like, you might be the player that, like, okay, I'm going to play Rook G B8 because I'm Mikhail Tal and I want to keep all the diagonals open and all the pieces in play, right? Or you can say to yourself, I'm feeling like Karpov today, and I'm going to play Bishop takes F3 and grind them out in some, So sometimes these decisions are not objective and are based on your, how you. Although they should be objective. So.
See, he's pumping you up, so now you feel strong going to the next round.
Okay.
All right, Alan. Thanks for.
You're a good player, man. You're a good player. So.
Thanks for jumping in, and we'll follow your round 3.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, man. Yeah, take it easy.
Bye, Al.
Alan Finkelstein, 2 out of 2, and playing some solid chess, and going into round 3.
Well, this black has made some progress. He's got the 2 connected pass pawns, but white is made some more progress, I think, and that's getting this A pawn going. And somehow black did not figure this out, and this is now looking pretty serious. Yeah. Black's going to have to give up the knight for the pawn, and now might not even be able to do that after this. A7. I'm not sure what white's thinking about.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, Adam, I don't want to say that you're completely lost yet, but it doesn't look good. And black's counterplay came too late.
Yeah.
I think it looked to me like black was keeping white confined down in there, and I'm not sure exactly what happened.
Yeah, she got lots. And Rachel is good, solid B player. I mean, she's a strong player. Let's take a look at Felix's game here. With Patrick Cook.
Both players saw plenty of time, and yeah, black has some serious threats here. So I mean, white can't play b7 because of rook h3, obviously. Well, then queen e8. Yes, black has too much play here.
Let's take a peek at Elliot's game here.
Black is doing well, and my advice was followed, and now black plays pawn to b4. Interesting move to get behind, a temporary pawn sacrifice to get behind the lines.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It looks like a well-timed move.
Yeah.
If takes rook c1 and rook c2, or rook c2 right away, maybe. Black is definitely better and playing to win here.
So 3 games left in the round. This is one of them. I
think black is winning. Yeah.
And let's peek on Rach, because it looks like Rachel's on the verge of converting here.
Yeah, and this is the problem with keeping the knight. Now, if knight a8, rook b8, and you're going to end up losing.
Something.
You're going to end up not even getting the pawn. But it's bad for black. Black is a little too late with the counterplay here. I'm not sure what happened earlier, but
there
Adam
it is. Knight
in trouble with b8. That doesn't help the black story. Yeah. Black is, this counterplay is,
it's not
white just has too many.
Not getting it done.
No, it's not. Too bad. Black had some serious chances in this game, despite the material disadvantage and everything else. It was black had something to regret here. Okay.
Going back to here's the end game. The endgame lab. The endgame lab.
Elliot is making serious progress here.
Yeah.
So king c4, king d2, and then what? It's still a little bit tough. Black needs to find a way in. He can play d5 free of charge and probably get a pass pawn in the middle, and that might be enough to win the game.
Let's check in on Felix's game here.
Wow, that game. Yeah, this is tough for white, and there's all kinds of mating possibilities here for black. a strong attack. Michael was right. I think white might be close to toast here. Close to toast is a new analytical phrase that we should patent at the Mechanics Institute Chess.
We can claim that, maybe make it like a social media phenomenon.
Right.
And
we should look into that. Close to toast.
And if you want to be a part of this broadcast and have Paul critique your game, 7 o'clock tonight, we have a 9-round Blitz Championship with we're giving away a cup as the first prize, as well as a modest cash prize to put in the cup. You can still register. 7 p.m., 9 rounds, G3 plus 2. It is not too late to register. And
I'm going to be so tired of watching chess all day that I'm going to just make the most random statements.
No, that's perfectly fine. I mean, I was doing that all of the first round. So there's the link if you want to check us out. And also, while we're here and people are watching, if you're watching on Twitch and you scroll down, you see Donate Here button. Please, if you can and you want to support the Mechanics Institute, make a donation there. Every penny of those funds helps our youth outreach program. We teach chess, and we're doing it virtually now in about 20 San Francisco Unified Public Schools. We've connected with the schools. Judith's been talking to them. We are going to be running classes virtually, so it's really exciting. It's really awesome that we're able to provide enrichment programming for these kids that are having to do, all their schools, virtual programming. They need enrichment more than ever, even if it's online. And as we all know, there's almost no better thing to do online than chess if you're going to do something fun while learning.
Oh, yeah.
And help us provide these programs to kids, all free for them. So hit that donate button, and $5, $10, whatever it is, help support the Mechanics Institute and our youth outreach program. So what's going on here with Felix?
This is a crazy game. I'm trying to figure that out. So black can play rook e1 check. Queen takes e1, rook takes e1 check. Rook takes e1, and then black can try to scoop up, can win the b pawn by playing queen c5 check, king h1, and then queen takes b6. That's all fine and dandy, but white just immediately puts pressure on the f file by playing rook f3 or something. But knight g4 is a move here.
And Michael Walder is saying, or even queen a5.
Well, wait a minute, queen a5, doesn't that hang if rook takes e3, queen takes b6, and you win the rook back? Yeah, Michael Walder's seeing some good stuff here, that's true. Yeah, incredible.
He says it, queen b6.
Yeah. Well, then queen c3 check. So queen a5, rook takes e3, queen b6, queen c3 check. Yeah, and then the other rook can come over to e1. Black has chance. I like knight g4 too, maybe. If b7, rook e1. Oh, if b7, queen c5.
Check this out. Let me.
This is a crazy game for sure.
This is the Mercado Rachel Tian game.
Oh my gosh!
What happened here?
I don't know what happened here. Rook g3. Wow, is black getting a queen? Now king f2 would be a mistake because if rook takes d2. But what about king e4?
Yeah, that was played.
Oh my gosh. Here's
the thing about Adam. Like, and he did this in the first round, and almost successfully. He was like losing by a piece in 3 pawns, and fought back to where it was close. Oh, but White's about to queen also, but no. But you just take that rook and you queen, and yeah. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, this is. I don't know how Black got to this.
And
extraordinary.
Golko fan is noticing. If you look at Anna Mercado's time compared to Rachel's, she probably should have used a little more time when she was going for the kill.
Well, now Adam's thinking again, but he has some good choices, I think. I mean, Black gets to queen first, but then after White queens, Black can't play queen g3 check, but king d3, and what a mess. All right, well, let's figure it out, I suppose. Black queens, White queens. Black plays king takes d3, or king takes d3 first. Okay.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Does White get to mate Black? I mean, that's the only possibility.
Yeah, but
getting to queen first is usually a big thing.
But then Black still's got a pawn on the.
Yeah, and the Black king is going to go, like, if rook a3 check, king e2, and then scurries over to g2 or something like that. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Thanks, Daniel.
Daniel Naroditsky. Thank you so much for the raid. Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky, who spent a good part of his childhood at the Mechanics Institute. So fantastic, and nice to have his support. And I remember picking him up from Stanford and giving him rides to work. So I'm glad it's paying off. I
had the pleasure of losing to him a few times at the Mechanics Institute.
And if you're joining us from the raid of Daniel Naroditsky, this is the Mechanics Institute's Summer Championship, part of the Summer Chess Festival, where we have multiple events this weekend. This is round 2 of 6 of our tournament, and we're
Lenderman playing.
Lenderman's playing, and we're watching a great comeback being pulled off by Black. We'll see if he can finish it, but there's a little bit of danger here, so we just gotta see how this plays out. But thank you, everyone. Stay with us. Check out our broadcast, and we appreciate your support.
Well, it looks to me like White's almost playing for a draw now. I would say probably playing for a draw. King e2,
Queen h2
Queen
check.
e5 check. Although then what? King f2, Queen takes f5 check, King g2, Queen f3 check. What a game! An amazing comeback by Black.
And so fantastic. So looks like Naroditsky subscribed to the Mechanics Institute, and
nice.
Alan Finkelstein's in the chat. Absolutely, you have time to sign up for the Blitz, and yep, Daniel Naroditsky, thank you for the subscription and for your support of the Mechanics Institute. And you subscribe to our channel, you donate to the Mechanics Institute. All of it is always supporting our youth outreach program, and it's basically allows us to provide free chess classes virtually to kids in San Francisco public schools for free. So everything you do in support of our Twitch channel or donating, all of it goes to youth outreach. So thank you, everyone, for your support. And it's awesome that everyone rated in the middle of this position. So
Queen h5 check is a shot for sure. Wow, what an amazing turnaround.
Queen h5.
Yeah, the time differential, yeah. Queen h5 check. If king f2, rook f3 check.
Oh.
King g2? That doesn't quite do it. So what happens after queen h5 check, king f2? Then queen h2 check.
And for those of you noticing the time, this tournament is G60 plus
king
5.
f1, rook f3 check. Okay, so queen h5 check, and if king f2, queen h2 check, king f1, rook f3 check. Yikes. Wow, that's it.
And she must see this because now she's using a lot of time.
Well, it's a good time to take some time. Yeah. What a... Adam almost came back here.
And I don't think this was calculated.
I don't think so.
This was discovered in the moment.
Yeah, queen h5 check seems to do it. It will force mate. Amazing. How do you cough with a microphone on?
Yeah, you just cough into it, and you're already socially distancing. So, all right, we got a donation. Thank you, Numbers. Your support.
Yeah, thanks everybody for being here at the world famous Mechanics. So this is such a tragedy
Queen
for Black.
h5. Wow, Queen h5 check.
Such a tragedy for Black, who almost came back yet again, only to lose it at the end here. Yeah, the Black King gets boxed in now with a series of checks, Queen h1, Queen h2, and then how disappointing, and just
look at that.
Yeah.
Right, Queen h1, and then that's it.
Rook f3 check, yeah.
Or King e2, Queen f3, yeah.
Is mate, yeah. Oh, it's almost as though it was preordained in some horrible way.
Rook f3 check. Oh man, look at that.
I feel sorry for Black.
This is making the newsletter for sure.
I feel sorry for Black. It came so close.
Wow, what a game. Yeah, I feel bad for Adam because he was.
I do too.
We thought he had pulled it off. Okay, and while we were obsessed with this game, we still got Felix German and
Elliot Winslow.
And
right?
Elliot too. Well, let's take a look at Elliot's game here.
Okay, either one. Yeah, that was a cool game. Wow, this is like right out of the Endgame book here. White is just White's in Zhuang. I mean, if bishop h1, bishop f1, I guess king a2 looks like the only move here, and then Black can just march the d pawn down.
Yeah.
What a master class in endgame by Elliot here.
And it's safe to say he was probably all the way. This was like the plan. You probably saw this.
Yeah, exactly. Nice game by Elliot here, showing his class how to scare a grandmaster.
Teddy Legbreaker. Is that Teddy Coleman? Teddy Coleman or something?
I don't know.
Let's take the Felix game.
Yeah.
Now this.
There have been some really tough fights. Black took on e3 with the knight, threatening mate, and White played back queen to c6. Huh.
Now the queen and the knight are pretty scary here, right?
So Black needs to find an interference move like rook to e4, which doesn't work yet because of queen e4, but the idea is still Yeah, has Black misplayed this? Winslow may have smoked Korchnoi, but Korchnoi won the game, I think. Can the knight just go back to g4, threatening queen e3 check? Rook c8, there's the distracting move. I like it. Rook c8, queen f3, I suppose. And then queen c5. I don't know, but black is definitely. Oh, then queen f7 check. This thing's going on here. I mean, if black can scoop up that pawn at b6, yeah, still going to be some fun going on in this game for sure. Rook c8, queen f3, queen c5, b7. Or queen f7 check. I don't know.
It'll be pretty impressive if Felix can work his way out of this. Cause
Rook e6, bishop takes e6. Okay, so rook c8, queen f3. Yeah. A rook e5, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Do we have another game still going on?
Yeah,
Is this the last game?
Elliot's game. These are the last two games.
Oh, the last two games, Elliot.
And Stuart Katz is forced to play bishop h1.
Yikes.
Yeah, and that pawn's just storming through.
Yeah, I mean, black has several ways to win this here, I think. Could start off with bishop f1 and bishop takes h3.
Zugzwang much?
There have been like several Zugzwangs already in this game.
Yeah.
So Elliot's just going to be Elliot and take the pawn at h3 as well. I mean, and that does take away some possibility here.
And Patrick to 3 minutes, so he's got to keep an eye on that time.
Yeah, I mean, black is probably better here, if not winning, maybe. Knight g4 still is possible. I guess the one thing you don't want is white playing pawn to a5, and then anything could happen.
And that pawn's on b6.
All right, okay, rook c8, queen f3, knight g2. And I guess queen f7 check is never anything because of king h6.
And the third round is at 4 p.m. Will not start before that. So you have time to eat, do whatever. The third round of this event will be at 4 p.m.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us and staying with us in the most important tournament ever held, the Mechanics Institute Summer Championship.
Even more important than the one we had Caruana last year and the whole Pro Chess League.
Yeah, and I'm doing a whole thing on World Championship matches coming up on this Thursday. And what is this rook b8? Can't white just play pawn a5? I mean, what?
Doesn't that just take the rook out of circulation?
Yeah. I mean, I compare this tournament to the Fischer-Spassky match, maybe.
Is that right?
What happens if pawn a5? Oh, what a miserable move with b8. I'm sorry after playing such great chess. And
you lost all respect in one
the threat is rook b6, but what if white plays pawn to a5? Or is this some clever decoy to get the pawn to a5 first? Might be. You never know. And pawn b7 is possible as well.
So we put it in the chat. So Paul will be starting this Thursday from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific a brand new class dedicated to World Championship matches. So it's going to be a class that's instructive by going over some of the World Championship games, but also a discussion about the matches and the dynamics.
Yeah, going all the way back to Labordonnais de Labordonnais versus McDonnell, and the first class will cover that match as well as the two Staunton Saint Amant matches and the Morphy Anderson match. So a lot of incredible chess was played back in those days. Amazing players. Sometimes it was a bit crude, but sometimes it was more inspired than you would even believe.
So that starts this Thursday, and if you want to check it out, that is your instructor, FIDE Master.
And I'll be learning a bit as we go along too. I've studied the games of the World Championship champions but not as deeply as I would have liked. So I'm starting to get into that.
And worst comes to worst, just make it up and hope nobody knows.
That's right. Remember that time that Morphy beat Tall, What, Queen takes G2 check.
Huh.
Okay, so this is part of Black's plan, is to go into... Oh, boy. Rook E3.
Rook E3, yeah. I wonder if he thought he was going to capture that pawn on B2 and then miss Rook E3.
I mean, White has a way to go to untangle here.
Or he's thinking those 3 pawns, but...
Yeah, 3 pawns. This is a lot of intuition here. And it's simplified matters, but I'd rather be White. I'd rather be White here. It's complicated, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny decisions are made. Decisions that never would have occurred to the commentators at all.
And Black's got a minute and a half to work this out, so that's part of the calculus here.
Yeah. Well, so far, pretty straightforward here. I like this F5 move. Yeah. An even game. That's a good call. Great call. Yeah. Well, let's see Elliot's game. Is that still going on?
Here we go. Ask and you shall receive. Elliot Winslow right here.
Well, his opponent got an outside hope here with the passed pawn.
Yeah.
So if bishop takes e4, h5, is there any way that White would be able to make that work? I doubt it very much. Black can also play king takes a3, then bishop a, maybe needs to play pawn a5. Just looks like bishop e4 works. White's got a glimmer of hope with the outside pass pawn here, but I don't think it's going to work.
And let's give props to Stuart for just kind of finding resources, because the position looked really dire earlier.
Well, I think it's still pretty dire, but like hope springs eternal.
Let's go back to the pawn march here.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, White's reversing with the king to d4.
Sort of kind of allowed the pawns to just march on over here.
Yeah, Black has made progress and White's made no progress, and now the king's coming back. King g5, it's like Black's just doing everything, having everything go his own way.
And Black is doing it with, I mean, Black's built up time, not used it up, because he was at a minute and a half.
This has been a disaster for White. Disaster. He's made no progress in the last 10 moves.
Bishop f7 here.
and then G3 check, or rook takes B2 check first, and then king G3 or something. Yikes. That was a wise decision by black to play queen G2. It's like white wasn't quite ready for this. And it was a great decision.
And the hard part, too, is that bishop is kind of locked up there.
Oh, I think black should have played pawn F3.
Uh-oh. Isn't this bad? Because now it's put all the pawns on the dark squares and then the bishop.
It's a blockade. Oh, this was poorly played. Black missed his chance with F3. Rook D8. I mean, black is still probably rook D8 now. Looks absolutely forced. Okay. And then rook D2 check. That might win the game right there anyway. But black should have played F3 instead of G3 check. Going back just 2 moves. It was kind of one of those, and this allows bishop to D5, whether that's good or not, or I'm not sure, but it looks like it might be forced. Because the threat is rook E1 as well. So he has to play bishop D5. Oh, and then rook E1. And no stopping the queen. The white king is actually
kind of blocking its own self.
Look at that. So while rook E8 was quite an impressive move, actually. Maybe rook C1, rook E2 check. All right, so rook C1 is forced. Yikes. Then rook E2 check, king H3, king H1, F3, rook takes B2. Yikes.
Yeah.
Maybe white can try a blockade.
Rook C1's played.
Yeah. Oh, poor Felix. I feel for him.
Well, Patrick, he's got to work it out too. Find the continuation. If only Felix could get that bishop to D5.
Well, yeah, he might be able to. So, smothered by pawns.
Yeah.
It ain't over yet.
No, it's not. He delivered a check there.
And now king F3 is possible.
King H1.
Doesn't look no. Yeah, king F3, rook F2, king E4, pawn to G2. That would have been the end. So king H1 is forced. And now king H3, and you can't play bishop E6 because of rook takes E6. Yeah. Bishop D5 then is forced. And then G2 check. Bishop D2, rook G2, and if rook C3 check, rook G3, and rook has to come back to C1, and black should be winning that, although it's still, not surviving for long, but so bishop D5 looks absolutely forced.
And takes a B2.
It's made, huh? Bishop D5. Okay, but what about bishop D5 here? Pawn G2. I guess if you could chase the bishop, or you could, no. He's gonna put. So G2 check, bishop takes G2, rook takes G2, and then, does white even have time for pawn to B4 there?
Can't imagine what's going in Felix's head right now. Bishop D5 is played.
Oh, now b4 f3.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Well, rook g3, then the rook has to come back, and then f3, and then f2, and then rook g1.
Yeah.
Yikes! I guess that's just there's no way to stop any of that. You always hope for a miracle. Yeah, that's it.
Can't even do rook f1, huh?
Yeah, then f2 and rook f2 and rook g1 mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, sad but true.
Wow, what a final game of the round, Patrick.
Oh, how about Elliot?
That one is over, and he promoted.
Elliot won.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
After multiple zugzwangs.
Yeah. It's not often that someone survives multiple zigzwangs, but yeah. So,
okay.
so that's all the games for round 2. Fantastic final 2 games to.
Thanks everybody
to
for joining us.
And we have 125 people still watching. This was round 2 of 3 today at the Mechanics Institute Summer Championship.
Thanks for coming out.
We are back for round 3 at 4 p.m. So we're gonna take a quick break. Let me put in the. We're gonna raid someone back, and while Judith's working on that, I'm gonna put the Chess Festival link because Judith will update the standings. We're gonna raid Hans Niemann, Niemann the Demon, as you like to call him.
Yeah.
So there's the standings, and we will be back at 4 o'clock for round 3. And don't forget, tonight at 7 o'clock, the Mechanics Institute Summer Blitz Championship. We will be covering that too with what little steam we have left. So a lot of chess. So stay with the Mechanics Institute. Come back and join us at and follow us. And Niemann the Demon, we're going to raid him now. We will be back at 4 o'clock. Thanks, everyone, for supporting the Mechanics Institute. We will be back.
Always check, it might be made.